WEVE podcast coming live at you from Atlanta, Georgia, with Cuba Cordovez, Lady D, J Nick, and Sistah Shay.
We got Cuba Cordovez, says she a miss, she a miss, says she a miss. From east to west, that's Cordovez, that's Cordovez, that's Cordovez. I'm Lady D, what she say? Flag on the play, that's what she say. That's Lady D, that's Lady D, that's Lady D, that's Lady D D. I'm Janie, I like to teach, I drop that knowledge, I went to college. That's Janie, that's Janie, that's Janie. Neat.
I'm Sistah Shay, and she don't play. She's your friend until the end. That's Sistah Shay, that's Sistah Shay, that's Sistah Shay.
Hey gardeners, it's Cuba Cordovez with Eve's Garden Podcast.
I'm Janie.
Lady D.
And Sistah Shay.
Today, ladies, we're going to be discussing abusive relationships and domestic violence.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real deep. Shay,
Wow.
take it away.
The definition of abuse is to treat someone with cruelty or violence on a regular basis, and you do it repeatedly. That's what the definition is.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you have any facts about domestic violence?
Well, the death of domestic violence deaths
Mm-hmm.
is 30,000 people a year.
Wow.
So it's a lot. And they say
crazy.
it's climbing. So
Right, a year,
Wow.
30,000 a year.
30,000 people a year
That
are
is so
dying from
crazy.
violence, domestic violence
Right.
especially.
I have a fact too.
Okay.
So 900,000 to 3 million of domestic violence cases are reported
Mm-hmm.
each year. 900,000
That's a lot.
to 3 million.
Mm.
And that's only what's being reported.
Mhm.
So
You know what I mean? So you know it's
Imagine
way
it's
more than
much
that.
more.
That's
You know,
true.
because a lot of victims, they're scared to come forward.
Especially
you know?
men too.
Oh,
Right.
especially
Yeah,
men.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to, talk about them being abused,
Of course not.
Right. I have a cousin that's in a relationship right now, and he's a guy. And his wife, girl, whatever you want to call her, she's abusive
Mm.
to him, like very bad.
So it
Abusive
comes
to him.
both ways.
Both
Mhm.
ways.
Both ways.
What about you, Janique?
1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence, sexual violence, and or intimate partner stalking.
Wow.
Stalking.
So-
Stalking.
So I watch a lot of ID channels.
Oh, yeah.
y'all.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Me too.
And literally, the people who kill people be friends, families,
Yep.
and lovers.
Yeah.
I call it the
Ex-lovers.
Murder Kill channel.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And-
yeah.
And a lot of what you see on there, you do see a lot of stalking.
You do.
And the police don't ever handle it correctly. So
Mhm.
nothing gets handled until the person is dead.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
That's
then
Yep.
That's true.
it's nothing that they do to really
Rectify it.
alleviate that person. It's just kind of like survive how you survive
Right.
and
Deal with it how you deal with it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, honestly, police don't really police. Like, police basically come after the fact.
After the fact.
Exactly.
They come after the fact. They come after the abuse has already been taken.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They come after a murder.
Right.
It's really calling them for what? And that's probably what a lot of victims feel.
Mhm.
right.
you know.
Why call?
Why
Well,
call?
right.
How far is this going to go? You know what I mean? How?
or why am I gonna tell and then I get beat up after because
Yep.
you didn't do
Right.
anything
You didn't.
about
Yep.
it.
Right.
That's right.
You know, because I spoke out and now
Mhm.
I'm gonna be hurt.
Mhm.
Exactly. Or killed.
Yep. And it doesn't even have to be a lover. It could be an angry friend, an ex co-worker.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's why I said
It's
we're talking
unfortunate.
about abusive relationships
Mhm.
as well, because that could be with friendships, with parents.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it's not always man, women, or like husband, wife, boyfriend,
Yeah.
girlfriend. Abuse comes in all ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your parent,
Your
your
child.
sibling.
That's right.
You know, a mother afraid of a child.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What about you? Do you have any facts?
Well, I was reading and they were saying that how half of the women and children that are homeless
Mm-hmm.
it's because they fleeing from domestic violence or
Yep.
some type of violence that's going on in their lives.
Right.
So, you know, unfortunately, that
Yeah.
makes up a lot
That's a word
of our homeless society,
of women and children.
of women and children.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to still understand why stay and why do you stay? What makes a person in their mind say, you know what? It's okay to stay, even though he beats me every day or he belittles me. What makes them stay? I don't understand.
But you know what? Sometimes I think people, they try to look for the best in people and fix it. And sometimes, you know, you have a partner that most of the time, hey, when they have their high highs, they're good. But when they have their low lows, it's like, damn, I'm about to get beat up tonight.
Right.
Or I'm about to get something thrown at me, or I got to listen to this verbalness in my ear. So it's not that, you know, they're afraid or they don't want to leave. It's something that they see in a person that makes them say, you know what, I can try to fix this.
Yeah.
I think it's codependency as well. When you are codependent, you don't even realize you're codependent. So you tend to do things for people and that person can do you wrong and you don't even realize it. You can't separate because even though they depend on you, you depend on them
as well.
You depend on whatever that is because you don't know how to detach yourself. It's like a parasite.
Right.
You don't know
Like a
how to.
leech.
Because this is the thing. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? When you're in a relationship, a normal relationship, and you just want out, what's the first thing you think? Like, where I'm going to go?
Yeah.
Right.
What I'm going to do? Where I'm going to get the help? And people don't have help sometimes.
Right.
And then I've heard people say that Stockholm syndrome.
Oh yeah, they fall in love with the abuser.
You fall in love with the abuser. You want to protect this person because you do see the good in them, but you know you're gonna deal with the bad. But you love this person. You don't really know how to get away. You just want to help them.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of not just men, but women and men, they prey upon certain women. You know what I mean? And a lot of women that, if statistically, don't have fathers in the house, and you know they look to a man to be that father figure. And then you know, or even if they're old, let's say it's a younger girl with an older guy, and you know he feels he can mold her or get away with things. You know what I mean? Because she's young, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know any
and
better.
Especially if she got daddy issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like trying to have validation to this man. You know what I mean? And then and if they're being abused on top of it, like you said, that Stockholm syndrome, they literally fall in love with their abuser. Well, they, you know what I mean? Like I don't,
It's
me
a mental
mentally,
thing.
I don't understand why women stay. Because I feel love has conditions. You know, I'm going to be with you or I'm going to marry you under these conditions. You know, and when someone puts their hands on you, that's a violation. Or even if, you know, like we said, abuse comes always emotionally, verbally, sexually. You know, and a lot of women don't think an emotional abuse or verbal abuse, they don't think that's abuse.
It really is.
That is abuse. It can sometimes be worse than physical.
Right, because it plays on your self-esteem.
It plays on your self-esteem. So I'm going to ask you guys, just tell as much as you feel comfortable. As much as you feel comfortable sharing with the gardeners and the viewers. You know, share you guys' story. I mean, I'm going to start with mine. I am, I'm not going to say a product, but I am a person that has been around abuse. And not with myself, but seeing it. You know, in different family members, particularly, but not just certain ones. It's a different one. And me growing up around that and seeing that, what it did to me was it made me controlling. It made me self-sabotage. You know, even in my relationship, I would, if something was going too good, I would sabotage it. You know what I mean? Like, if it was, because how I grew up and things I saw, I always was waiting for the other shoe to fall off. Always. And I always felt like I was not in control, you know, being around abuse. And if everything's going too good and all I know is, okay, this is too good, I'm gonna fuck it. Some way, somehow, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? And I had to basically go to therapy to even realize my OCD came from having to feel in control. You know what I mean? I had to feel in control in every aspect, and even in friendships. I had to be in control and feel in control because what I grew up seeing. You know what I mean? I had no control. I was a child, had no control what was about to happen. And the only way I can function is, okay, if I'm in control, this, and that's not going to happen.
Nothing's going to go wrong.
Nothing's going to go wrong if I am controlling it. You know, and that's not always true, but I was self-sabotage. And it took, you know, for my husband to point certain things out in me that I would do. Like, yo, we having a good day. We having a good date. You know, like, where does it come from? Why you arguing with me over this? Like
something small.
Something small. Because I grew up seeing, oh, if it's going too good, it's about to get messed up some way, somehow. Somebody can make a comment. We could go from having a good time as a group of us, as a family, and then one wrong thing, someone would say, and the other person would get triggered, and they'll go from the best day
to the worst.
To the worst. So if that's all you grow up seeing, that's what you're going to emulate in your own life, in your own relationship. Not just marriage, but friendships, co-workers. You're going to mess it up because that's something that
is embedded in you.
Embedded in me. But I'm better now.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm better now. You know me 15 years.
Yes.
I'm better now, right?
Much better.
So when we first met.
Much better. Much better.
What about anybody else?
I'll go.
Okay.
So pretty much my abuse started at home. And as a parent, I try not to follow the same steps that I came up with. Pretty much it started with my mom. I was adopted, and it was just like she had all boys. I'm her last baby. So to me, once I got older, I felt like Cinderella. Do this, do that. And if I didn't do it on her command, you know, if she had a cup in her hand, it's getting thrown at me. She has the broom next to her, I'm getting hit with it. You got a spatula because you're in the kitchen cooking and I didn't hand you the wrong seasoning, I'm getting popped. So, you know, as an adult and as a mom, it made me become that person, well, you know what? I'm not going to beat my kids. Let's try talking.
Right.
But then it became, I'm a single parent. I have girls now. You know, I can't teach my daughters or give my daughters the love that a father would give them.
That's right.
So now that I have an adult child, I see her with those patterns. And I see her falling into abuse. And as a mom, it's like, wow, how do you protect her? I can only protect you so much.
Right.
But I guess it starts with talking and recognizing it. You know,
acknowledging it. Yeah,
right.
I agree. I agree. What about so since your abuse started at home, how did that play into you dating?
Ooh, me dating. At first, you know, strong mind. I'm not going to tolerate this.
That's right.
You know, this is what I want. This is what I expect. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then it became a point where it was just like, you know what? Your expectations might be too much. Kind of trick it down a little bit. Just a little bit. And when I did that and I did start dating someone, it was like, hey, I got this great persona. Oh, this guy's cool.
Yes.
You know, he's down with my health.
Yeah.
He's down with my kids. He's even down with the grandbaby. You know, this is a keeper. Hey.
Right.
Man.
And I'm a witness.
When I tell you,
I'm a witness
it was just like a light switch, turning it off and on. You know, we'll have great times. We'll go out, hang out. And then it became, I'll go to the grocery store. For example, jeans and sneakers, little crop top. Oh, you flirting with this person. Wait a minute. It takes two
he
to
had
flirt.
to sabotage too. So he was sabotaging.
He was sabotaging, your
relationship also.
Right.
You know, it came
because he was
as
insecure.
Right. So I couldn't go to the grocery store. You know, I was conscious about how I would dress. I was conscious on how things I would do around the house. And it was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It took my girlfriends, Cuba, to sit me down and, you know, some other our friends and like, D, this is not you.
Yeah.
This is not what you do. You're not about this life. Like,
yeah, she kind of.
I know we can't tell you how to run your life, but I shut down. I stopped calling people. I stopped coming around.
Wow.
I would make excuses.
Yeah.
So this is deep. It's hard. It's really hard.
I got phone calls in the middle of the night.
I would cry.
I
would
go
call
get her, or it was bad.
It was hard.
But she got out of it. She
But
got
now,
out of
so one of the I guess the things that they do, an abuser does, is separate you from the family.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
They separate you from your family and your friends.
Everybody who they feel loves you,
or
everybody that has an impact on your life, they try to separate you from that person. And that's exactly what this person tried to do. And thank God, I have friends that are strong-minded and that loves me and that are patient and they know how I really am. So they're like, you know what? Let me give her space. She's going to come around, but I'm going to let her know, bitch, I'm still in your ear.
Yeah.
I'm still here. If you need to pick up that phone at 4:00 in the morning, call me. So,
because we met him, the guy she's talking about, the same day.
Okay.
Met him the same day.
She was with me.
We were together.
She was with
when
me.
She met this particular guy. And I promise you, he was charming.
Wow.
Walked us to the car.
Open the car door.
The doors. Just
perfect gentleman.
That's what exactly you meet people's representative, and he gave that vibe off like she said. Oh man, he is a keeper. You know what I mean? But I do believe men that separate you from your friends, your support, your loved ones, they have a motive, and their motive is you just are going to be about them. And if it's not about them, she would go, like she said, to the gas station, the grocery store. She has no idea that she's a beautiful girl. Guys are looking at her. You should feel proud. Like, that's my girl. That's right. But they're not coming up to her. They're not disrespecting her. They just come up, not even come up to her.
Right.
She's
you
not
just
even
looking.
Yeah,
not paying nobody no attention.
You don't even know. And as soon as she gets in the car, it's an argument.
Oh, you talking to this nigga?
Yeah, you flirting.
Or you flirting. It takes two to flirt. It takes two to have a conversation.
How are you flirting when you're not even talking to this? Your back is to them. You buying groceries.
Right. You're not paying them no attention, but you get accused. Yes. And then that plays on your self-esteem.
Everybody. Wow. She's having sex with everybody.
It was so bad, guys. I couldn't even go outside to the car from my own apartment. I could not go outside because then I got accused of sleeping with the maintenance man. I got accused of sleeping with the people that work in the office. I got accused of sleeping with my doggone neighbor.
Yeah. How did you get out of it though? Yeah. Like, how did you plot your escape?
Actually, it took me some time. I did have to plot my escape. But in the process of plotting my escape, some things went down.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm a firm believer. You put your hands on me, I'm putting my hands back on you.
That's right.
Man, woman, child, cat, dog, I don't give a damn.
Yep.
And it got to the point where we were arguing and he just slightly pushed me. And I went into defense mode and I bust this nigga's lip. Yep. I'm not going to even lie. It got to the point where I had the baseball bat in my hand and I was about to take his knees out.
Yeah.
And it took for my 15-year-old to call the cops and was like, I've never seen my mom act like this. You guys need to get here now.
It was very volatile. Very.
And I've never, when I tell you guys, I've never been in an abusive relationship. I didn't know what abuse looked like other than coming from the household.
Your mother, yeah.
I was like, what the hell is this? This is a whole new world to me.
Yeah.
It was a whole new world.
He's broken into the house.
He's broken into my house. He's broken my patio window.
Glasses.
I'd be asleep.
Yep.
I would be asleep and I wake up to this Negro on my patio.
Or in the bed.
With his jacket on and his boots on. Or he'll be sitting on the edge of my bed. And I'm like, how the hell did you get in my house?
And she upper
level.
And
I was at an upper level.
She wasn't on the main. He climbed up.
Wait a minute.
The banister. No.
Yes.
True story, Gardeners. True story.
This is a true story.
Hit me.
Pick her.
Bitch.
Yes, bitch.
Yes.
You was fucking with Spider-Man?
Girl, he was Spider-Man, Superman,
he was
anything that motherfucking
Yes,
crawled.
he was. Yes.
He was like,
Was he Deadpool? Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
And
he climbed up on the banister of the bottom neighbor
and pulled
himself up.
He's
True
strong.
Story.
You know they
True
say
story.
crazy people strong for real.
And he was strong as hell. Don't get me wrong. Strong as hell. A little short ass. But yeah, he was he was strong as hell.
You dated a little Farquaad from
No, we were actually the same height. We were same height.
Right.
So we were eye to eye.
Right.
But he's still short.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah. She got out of it.
Well, thank God you got out of it.
Yep. I'm alive.
Safely.
That's why I am very blessed to have a strong support system with my girlfriends. That's why I cherish their friendship so much. And I value their opinions.
Yep.
Because see, a lot of times our friends will see stuff that we don't
That
see.
you don't see.
You know,
That's
and we be
right.
like, no. Then they be like,
Right.
yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
Now, you
It's
don't find it
crazy.
weird that
Mhm.
a little off.
Yeah. I mean, there's signs.
Yeah.
There's always signs. It's
That's
just
true.
whether do you want to believe them,
Right.
acknowledge them, but they're always red flags. You know. What about you, Jenny?
I have two different perspectives. I seen it as a child, growing up within different family members, and it's funny because I feel exactly how you feel.
Right.
I didn't have OCD, but I had anxiety really bad.
Oh yeah, I had that too.
Anxiety so bad that I would have
Panic attack.
I would cry. Well, first off, I didn't want my mom to see me upset. So I would wait till everybody went to sleep and I would cry myself to sleep. And then I would hyperventilate. And then I would just it's almost like just fall asleep because you done gave everything that you done had. So you just cry. And it got bad. I used to have to do this thing called grounding. I would have a panic attack so bad. No matter where I was, I had to get on the ground and touch the ground and take breaths and then recoup.
Yeah.
And then, so, as I saw it, it was, like you said, lack of control. And that's something that I still fight for now. But it's funny because I've been going to therapy and I have a life coach. And my best friend also says to me that you can't control anything but what you put in your body and what you do to your body.
That's right.
You can't control anything.
Nope.
And if you let go of trying to control it, then you would have better results. And I'm almost 30 and that is just now starting to kick in.
Yep.
You can't control anything. You can't, but you do feel like if I can control this, this, and this, then this, and this won't happen. I'll have a better day.
It's like a protective
it's
shield
like
you put up. And
but it's just not.
for outsiders, they view it as, I can't deal with
something
she's
wrong.
too controlling.
She aggressive.
She's aggressive, but they don't know your backstory.
Right.
Because I grew up always feeling like the referee.
I felt like
the referee. You know what I mean? Or, it was a lot.
Yeah, it is. And you don't realize how it affects you until much later, I feel.
Right.
Because when you're going through it, you're really just trying to survive.
That's it.
And then when you get out, then you realize how fucked up you are. And it's not your fault.
No.
You just trying to, be a productive citizen because you want to be different. You ever notice?
At least a decent one.
Right. You ever notice that you always, I don't want to be this. And you slowly become that.
Yes.
That's right.
And that's because you don't have anyone or anything that's letting you know what the issue is. So then that's why I feel like you really have to go see somebody. Even if you are not traumatized, go talk to a therapist because there's so much pressure that is put on us for kids, expectations and things like that. And you should talk to somebody. But my second perspective is as a teacher.
Okay.
When you see the boyfriend, girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The situation.
You teach high school.
I teach high school.
You see their relationship.
And you can't really step in. There's not really, because they're not going to slap their girlfriend in front of you. Right. Or they're not going to hit their boyfriend. No, they're not. They're not going to do it in the hallways because they don't want to be suspended.
They done with your high school, they did.
Right, depending on the school.
Well, okay, not at my
yours.
school. But I can just remember a student and her and her boyfriend went to the school. And I can just remember hearing other teachers talk about it. She fast. Her mama let her do this. Her mama let her be booed up. He be at her house at days at a time and da-da-da. And the thing is that I taught not special needs kids, but just kids who needed extra help. And so those children, that relationship and that dynamic is so different. It's so special because even though this kid is bad to you,
right?
I know he can't read.
Right.
I know he can't. I know he has emotional disabilities. I know these things. And so when she was in my class, I always saw her. She was the sweetest thing. She would give me hot fries every day. That's how I got fat. But she was just sweet. You know what I'm saying? I'm blaming the babies. The babies loved me. They used to feed me. Don't feed me unless it's a carrot. But she was so sweet. And what was really going on is that he was older. Her mama was at work. Yeah. She was lonely. He would come over because he is older. He can drive. He can da-da-da. And he'd be popping up. And she would fight him back. But just think about it like that. You know, you have all these grown people looking down and scrutinizing you and talking junk about you. And then you still in that situation. And it's verbal abuse.
Yep.
It's verbal. It's verbal. It could turn into to physical. It is emotional. And then a lot of thing is, I always say I can tell when a girl lose her virginity. She walk different.
That's
true.
true.
Act different. And she develops a smart ass mouth. Because that's when it's flip. It's like,
wait, she had to get some dick to get a smart mouth? You better stop.
Miss Jackson.
You better stop.
Miss Jackson, I don't feel like doing this today. Fail then. Okay? But you can tell. And when someone starts having sex, that's that emotional that they don't understand that sex comes with the emotions.
Right. That's right.
And you have to have a certain headspace.
That's right.
And it's not just a physical thing. And when sex get introduced, you can always tell, like, if she always, like, it's just little things. It's little things in class. No, it's just like little things in class. She not focused anymore. She's not asking questions. She's not answering questions.
Right.
She's not really walking with the same friends. These are things that you don't think about, you know, because it's 150 kids that you see a day.
Right.
But I always say that we see it at home or somewhere else for us to even think that it's okay to do it. And so it's just like,
you see it both ways.
You can see it both ways because it's like you go through it and then you watch somebody else go through it. And so you just try to give little nuggets of wisdom.
Navigate.
But this is
that.
the thing. I always say, like, you can't control the parents. And what if you're never home and she always with them and she can do what she want to, basically, because you're not there. If I step in as a teacher and tell you your child is, what would I say as a teacher? Your child always with boo boo the fool.
I mean, the mother has to
realize
know some
that
kind of way because I dated an older guy. You know, my husband was older than me, 5 years older than me, and my mom and my dad knew. You know what I mean? So the parents know. They may not know everything, but they know. But Sister Shay.
Well, I had a cousin that just recently passed about 2 months ago from domestic violence, and that's the end of it. You know, once you get murdered, that's the end result of all of that. So it's good for gardeners. If you're going through this, get out of it now, and there are resources for you.
When
we're going to
see the signs,
right. When you see the signs, get out of it now. She was 35 years old with 2 children, 2 toddlers. And her husband, he planned it. He told his coworkers he was going to kill her.
Wow.
And nobody said nothing.
They didn't take him seriously.
They didn't take him serious. And he worked for a good job in Newport News, Virginia. And once it did happen, he met her at the gas station to exchange money for the children. And they got into an altercation, I guess verbal. And he just shot her 9 times. In her car.
Overkill. That's rage.
Yes.
Now, do you know if there was abuse in the home before that? Like what? Prior.
I think so. According to her mother. Her mother and I are cousins. So you know, it was on both parts.
Escalated.
It was on both parts because she was a big girl and he was a big guy. But then later on, people were saying that he was crazy. You know, so we didn't know he would go that far with it, but he did.
Well, it always gets worse.
It gets worse. And she met him at the gas station. He gave her the exchange, whatever. He shot her, and then he left. He took off, and people at the gas station followed him to where he went, and they called the police and told him that's where he is. He came out shooting for the police.
Oh my God.
Came out shooting.
Yeah.
So they ended up killing him.
Wow.
That's
and
what
so
they
now
want.
we got 2 little toddlers
without a mother or father.
With my cousin, who's she's 63, 64.
Wow.
And she's got to raise these 2 babies now in Virginia. And I'm like, wow. And it still hurts when I talk about it and when I see her, because she was just doing her comedy shows and she did open her boutique in Suffolk, Virginia. And she was going somewhere. She was a large girl and she lost a lot of weight and she's loved herself now.
Right.
And she was
and
on
maybe
her way.
he was jealous of that.
Yes.
And that's
jealous of that. Like, okay, she's acting brand new now. You know, and
we
were
reading. we were reading some of his Facebook feeds, and we was like, oh, he was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was really
Those
crazy.
are the signs.
There were signs there.
Yeah.
There were signs there. I speak to my cousin once a week to keep her encouraged.
Right.
And it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like her only daughter.
Oh, my God.
And now she got the babies.
And she got the babies.
Wow.
And the psychologist told her to take them to the funeral so they can have closure.
Okay.
Because otherwise they'll be always looking at the door.
Waiting for mommy to come
when
home.
are they coming? Where did they leave us? Why did they leave us? So,
and then daddy's gone too.
Daddy's gone too.
Right.
Imagine how they're going to grow up knowing that their dad killed their mom and then in turn got killed by the police.
That's right. Ooh,
That's a lot.
It's deep.
I have a cousin. Well, I had a cousin that was in an abusive relationship with her husband. This is about, I'm going to say about 20-something, 25 years ago. And she left him. She has 2 daughters with him. And she had a son as well, but not by him. So she had 2 daughters with him. He was abusive. And she left. Got in a new relationship. I think that she was engaged to get married to a new guy. And he would go pick her up from work because they didn't trust the ex-husband. So he would go pick her up. They wasn't even husband and wife yet. They were still married, going through a divorce.
On papers.
Papers,
Okay.
yeah. And the new guy would pick her up from work with their daughters, well, her daughters by the husband in the car to go pick her up from work. And she got off work probably like 6 a.m, right? Okay. So they pull up, she's coming out. The ex-husband comes up and shoots her. And his own daughters were in the car watching.
No.
And when I tell you, my little cousin was at the time, the oldest one was probably 11 at the time.
She's
she
not
started
right.
drinking alcohol.
She's probably not right until this
Nope,
day.
she's not right
Yeah.
at all.
She's
But
all-
she was 11 and started drinking alcohol. Heavy, hard.
She needed to numb that pain. That
They watched their mother get shot by their father. It's tragic enough if it's your mother gets killed, but by your father, and to see it, she's not right.
And then that fear, are you going to do it to me?
To me,
too?
right.
Wow.
Yep. And he didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care they was there. He saw them. He saw them. I guess he was watching her, you know, her schedule.
That's how he knew. That's how he got to her before she got to the car.
That's stalking.
And as soon as she came out, he pulled up, got out of the car, looked at the girls, and shot her. The mother. And got in and drove off like nothing. Yeah. It's serious out here. It always gets worse. So if you can recognize the signs in the beginning, or you have a friend or a mother or father,
somebody sees something.
telling you, take heed to it. You know what I mean? You know. But
I'm sorry. But you know what too? Even though our friends may see it, sometimes people don't want to accept it.
Nope.
They're not ready for acceptance. So sadly to say, you know, you have to let them come around on their own time. Don't force the issue, because when you force it, it pushes them away from you even more.
It does. It does, especially when they're trying to separate you. You know, I have an ex-friend that went through that twice during our friendship. You know, the first time she was with a guy that he was verbally and physically abusive. I would see her, she'll have blood clot in her eye. She would have like a bruise on her face. Like he stomped her like with a boot. It was like an imprint on her face. It was really bad. I had to go save her and the kids a few times. It was really bad. But one thing I can say, he was abusive physically, emotionally, all of that, verbally, but he never tried to separate her from her friends and family. Then so she got out of that. I'm very proud of her. Then she got into another relationship years later where I'm not sure if there was physical violence, but it definitely was verbal and emotional. I could tell. But he was the one that tried to separate her from her mother, from her friends, and she bit that bullet. Like he was like, I don't want you friends with Cuba no more. I don't care. Y'all been friends 30-some years, don't matter. I don't rock with her. You don't rock with her. and only knew him maybe 6 months at that time. And you know me, 30-something years.
Right.
That was hurtful.
Yes.
But you want to rock with your man, go ahead. She rocked with a man.
I think
and that was the end of that.
Oof. Do you know if they're still together?
Oh no, he's dead now.
Oh wow.
Well,
Mm-hmm. What happened?
She lost a good friend.
What happened was what happened exactly was I told her the last time we spoke. I'm only saying these things to you out of love, and I'm afraid for you because the things he was into, and I'm only telling you this as a friend and out of love. You know, all what's gonna keep happening is you're gonna keep having babies. He's gonna keep getting in and out of jail, and eventually you're gonna get killed if he don't get you killed or your children killed. And he got killed. So yeah, and you know, I my heart bleeds for her because I still love her, you know, and to know that, you know, she had to go through all of those things, you know what I mean, and me not being there for her, but
support, right?
She pushed you away.
Yeah, absolutely, she did, and now she, like you said, she doesn't have him or me, but that's what she chose. That was her decision. You know?
I often think that the people who make you separate from your friends and families, those are the murderers.
Oh yeah.
Because you strip because what they do is they take you from your family. They strip you from confidence, all confidence, communication, Why else would you separate me from the world so that if you kill me, no one would know
or care?
And see, that's the thing. They brainwash. See, I just keep going back to the very first question. You said, why do they stay? They're brainwashed. If someone tells you every day, you stupid, you ugly, you this, you that, then I stop talking to you, I'm not talking to anybody. I probably don't keep myself up, which means I'm going on social media seeing all of these things.
Or he won't let you keep yourself up.
Right. So you doing all of these
makeup
things.
for? What you put on makeup? What you doing your hair for? Who you trying to be cute for?
What other reason would it be than to be a murderer? Like,
well, to be controlling.
That's like a dungeon. Like you ultimately, your home becomes a prison and a mental.
They separate you because when they know people love you and really support you and care about you, they want to strip that away from you. They want to keep you away so they can just have all of you.
Right.
All you have, they want all your attention.
Everything's
you know what I mean?
them.
And everything's about them. So that's why they strip that, you know. But what
about women that abuse men? You know,
oh, that's like I said earlier.
I don't know
with
what's
my
worse,
cousin.
you know, an insecure man or an insecure woman.
I'm gonna tell you what I think is worse. This is a little off topic, and we're gonna cover this one day. You know how people say, "Oh, women, men say we're needy, we're clingy." You ever heard a guy? I can't deal with that. Man. She too clingy, man. She too. You know what I mean? But women, we fall fast. But when men fall, they fall hard. And what a lot of men do not admit to, they are very needy. They are very clingy. They want to be told the same thing women want to be told. They're sexy. They fine. They're smart. You know, they want to be touched. They want all of those things.
Same thing.
So what we see is, oh, it's too much. He's a bitch. You know what I mean? Because they crave. They crave our attention. They crave. They want to know that they're needed. You know what I mean? And
I agree.
And yeah, and a lot of people, you're a man. You ain't supposed to be wanting all of that. That ain't sexy. But they're human.
That's true.
Right. They're human. That's what they want. That's just off topic. But the question you asked, you said,
well,
what about men being abused by women?
Right.
Oh, it's a lot of that out there. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of women provoking men.
Yes.
You know, and provoke them to, and it's like, damn, like if he's trying to walk away, let him walk away.
Yes, I've seen it hands on.
I've
seen it hands on with
chase him, follow him in cars.
That's
and
right.
He's
Block
trying
him in the
to
house.
leave.
Yeah,
won't let him leave. And I don't feel bad for them women. I'm sorry. You get popped. You get popped because. You know what I'm saying? Like you provoking, and every woman knows they man and knows what buttons to push.
That's right.
And what
That's right.
And if you keep pushing that damn button, and he pop you, I'm sorry.
I just feel bad. I just feel bad that there's not really. I mean, there's not much that happens with women, but I mean, if a man goes to the police and say, look, what my girlfriend, they laugh at him, or they'll take it down, and then when he leave, it's nothing.
They laugh at him,
and it's just like, and it's just like,
that's true.
And like I said, I watch a lot of ID channel. Women are crazy. They poison.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Deadly women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
They definitely. But see, snap usually is like you did something to me for a long time and I snapped.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about women who just be like, you know what? I'm just put a little bit of that
little rat
poison in this thing real quick at his face, boo. Like some people are just like, and women stalk.
Yeah.
Stalk better.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do everything better. What do you mean?
That's true.
I don't even gotta walk. I don't have to be outside your house. I know where you at, Martin. Okay? And it's just like,
Don't even know I put a tracker on your ass.
On your ass, on the back of your car.
You know somebody like that.
Oh my God.
She knows somebody that did
a former friend.
Oh,
I had to cut her loose.
You had to cut that bitch loose.
She just knew her husband was messing around with everybody. So I was like, well, does she think he messing with me too?
Right,
But I was like, no, I hope she don't. She called me one day. She said, girl, I had to look through his phone. I put some sleeping pills. Now this man has
drugging
wait a minute.
He has a heart condition.
Oh my God.
He has stents in his heart.
Oh, wow.
She was putting sleeping pills in his drinks,
I just
feeding
told
it to
you
him.
that.
What's she
He
trying
would
to
go,
get him
and
while
so
you're
she could take his
driving?
finger and put it on the phone to unlock
She
the
could
phone.
have did that. She had to drug him for that. Give him
She
some
drugged
pussy.
him.
All you gotta do is give him some pussy
And
and
I'm
be
thinking,
sleeping
I said,
good like
okay.
a baby.
I said, if that guy
I
dies,
didn't give you no sleeping pill. This is the
Sleeping
sleeping pill.
What?
It's that NyQuil. That's that NyQuil.
To sleep.
Put him
but
to
let me
sleep.
tell you, I said, if he dies, they're gonna say, let me see your phone.
Right, because you knew.
It'd be Sistah Shay, last person you talked to.
What?
I said, oh no, I had to cut her loose. I said, no. So, but then too,
Stupid.
I was like, no, I'm not gonna be accessory. And I really wanted to tell him. I really wanted to tell him. I was like, oh, I was fighting it. Because I was like,
a tracker.
she put a tracker in his truck. She ordered a 1999 thing and put it in the truck. So she's like, come go with me. So me.
Oh my
I
God.
go with her. I go with her. We sitting in the car. She's like, see his car moving? And we watched the car move on the app.
What?
And I was like,
I'm done.
I said to myself, you about to get shot with her.
Right. Time to go.
I said, okay, you know what?
Snip, snip.
I need to cut you off because this is just too deep for me.
Yeah.
Too deep. You know, every woman, and he's an awesome contractor and she's a fabulous designer. But in her head, and she's pretty too. So I was like, what is wrong with you?
You know, most of them be successful, child.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with them financially.
He carries a weapon. So I said,
she gonna get.
We both gonna get shot right here, watching his truck. We be sitting in the parking lot,
I
watching
wanted
his
to
truck,
warn
and
you.
I was like,
This is all you had to say.
I said, okay.
wanted to warn you. She told me don't, but I wanted to.
You know,
but
so
you
I
with
said,
her.
No. I said, no, you know what? Let me cut. I cut it off 2 years ago. 2 years. And I've been happy ever since. I've been happy ever
Peace of
since.
mind.
Peace of mind.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, I was like, wait a minute. That's, what is it? Premeditated murder if this man dies?
Yes.
I mean,
And I
crime
watched
of
the
passion.
ID. They
It's a
where's
crime
the
of
phone? Get
passion.
the phone
Yep.
records.
It's a crime of passion, girl.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, like we were saying that abuse comes in all forms. Could be parent, child, you know, husband, wife, you know, siblings, friendships, you know. So basically, Gardens, what we guys want you to do is if you are in any type of abusive relationship, especially domestic violence, there is a hotline for the whole United States, not just in the state that you're in. So you can always call this number. It's 1-800-799-7233, 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE. Also, want to give a shout out to my baby girl that picked this topic for us to discuss. You can follow her on Instagram at Cuban Baby, CUBANBABY. So we will be giving shout outs to people that send us topics and things to talk about. We will definitely give you a shout out on your Instagram and everything. So we're going to close this round table talk, ladies. Anybody got any last thing to say?
Nope.
So if you're in an abusive relationship and you see the red flags,
Right.
get out.
Get out.
Listen to your homegirl. Now, if your homegirl telling you some BS like, you know, that she's jealous, you know, and
Yeah, you got
hating on
those
your relationship.
too.
Got those two. Girl, you need to leave him. You know, and it's for nonsense.
Then you open
Don't
the door,
listen to
she
that.
with him.
Don't listen to the next thing you know, she with him.
She with him. You
Breaking
know.
girl code.
That's time to get cut. You get cut.
You snip. But anyway, we just want you guys
Just
to
get
be
out,
safe
guys.
out there. Get out.
Yes.
We pray for all the victims out there.
Yeah.
All of them. Lady D, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for sharing because you got it at home and in a relationship.
True.
You're really strong to share that. You know, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
For sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
Right.
I mean, I could have said a whole lot more. No, just I was just like. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share Eve's Garden Podcast. So later.
Bye.